Good morning, dear colleagues, dear friends, please take your seats. I call the meeting of the General Committee on Economic Affairs, Science, Technology and Environment to order. Dear colleagues, as you notice, we have started a bit with delay because we need some preparation for the elections. And this is why I would like to ask you to take your voting cards with you if you want to vote in today's ballot. If you don't have this with you, you may want to go and get it now. Dear colleagues, the agenda for this meeting, as you know, has been distributed. Could I please invite you to adopt the agenda? Are there any objections? No. The agenda is adopted. Dear colleagues, may I remind that if you wish to speak in the plenary debates, you will need to register with the table office by 2 p.m. today. May I also remind colleagues that early voting for assembly officer positions is available for members who have unavoidable obligations to leave the annual session before Wednesday. This will take place on the table office from 12 noon to 6 p.m. today. I remind you that members must request early voting in writing to the table office before 5:30 p.m. today. I repeat, this relates to the election of assembly officers, not our committee officer, which we will agree in this meeting. We now come to the election of the committee officers for the next annual session of our assembly. I have appointed Ms. Maria Karapetyan of Armenia, Mr. Pere John Pons of Spain, and Mr. Alexander Stokebor of Norway as tellers to observe the conduct of the election and the counting of the votes. The International Secretariat informs me that the following nominations have been received in the table office. For the chair, we have the following candidate: Dr. Azarguliev, Azerbaijan. As the position of the chair is not contested, I declare that I have been elected by acclamation. Dear colleagues, it sounds a bit strange, but thank you very much for your support. I have not been contested. Of course, it is a big trust and a big confidence from your side you placed on me. I am very grateful for your tangible and for your continued support. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. For the vice chair, we have the following candidate: Mr. Artur Gerasimov of Ukraine. As the position of the vice chair is not contested, I declare that Mr. Artur Gerasimov is elected by acclamation. Congratulations, dear Artur. It was really good for me and for our team working together with you. I hope that we will have a fruitful cooperation in the coming 12 months. Thank you very much. So, dear colleagues, for the rapporteur, we have the following candidates: Ms. Paula Cardoza from Portugal, Ms. Federica Onore from Italy. So, two beautiful ladies will be in competition. The order of speaker has been randomly determined. This process was overseen by the tellers. So, according to the decision, I shall first ask Madame Federica Onore to take the floor, and after that, she will be followed, of course, by Madame Paula Cardoza. So, Madame Onore, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. Before trying to convince as many colleagues as possible to support me today, let me thank Ms. Kugler for her continuous efforts and commitment to, in the role of rapporteur in this committee and all the job done. I want to thank also Paola Cardoso, for having shared with me these intense days of campaign in a very friendly way. And of course, I want to thank the Italian delegation for their bipartisan support that I received into this candidacy, but also for the bipartisan support they give to the OSCE as a whole. It is an honor for me to run for a position in this committee. As I had the opportunity to mention already in the previous days, I really believe that this committee has the potential to translate international cooperation, multilateralism, in something that is a concrete experience for our citizens. In this sense, I really see a lot of potential and good work to do as in the aim of the Helsinki Final Act. I want now to touch very briefly upon a few main points, just to give you an idea what would be the starting point for a future report in case I would be elected as rapporteur. First of all, environment, climate, biodiversity, especially in the context of armed conflicts. We had the chance to discuss a little bit already about it yesterday during the supplementary item I proposed, and also environment is one of the major concerns for future generation, as we could see, as we could get the evidence of from the supplementary item that the network of the young parliamentarians submitted and that this assembly voted in favor to, and that I had the honor to contribute to. Second point, the role of this committee. I see how this committee can be more and more involved and connected to all the other OSCE bodies in order to get the most effective impact and result out of all the effort and the work that we do here. And third point, artificial intelligence. I believe we have now pretty enough evidence of the fact that we are gonna live sort of, well, somebody would say revolution. I would say that artificial intelligence would certainly have a great impact on the life of the single citizens and of our communities as a whole. And if there's a place within the OSCE where artificial intelligence can and should be addressed, I believe, is this committee. And not just for the consequences and impacts it will have on economy, on competitivity, on infrastructures, on democracy as a whole, and for all this together. And now the most important thing. So, how to say, if there's a take-home message out of this brief speech, I would like to be the following one. These are just some starting points. The way I see the role of rapporteur is the role of a listener, first of all, and when necessary, that one of a mediator. And this is my idea of future possible work to you. And now, as one of the fathers of Italian democracy used to suggest to politicians, I want to remind me these words. Used to suggest politicians to promise less than they think they can deliver. So I think I can stop here. I thank you very much. I wish to have your support. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Federica Nori. And now I would like to give the floor to Paula Cardoso from Portugal. Dear Paula, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, dear colleagues. I'm running for the rapporteur of this committee, and I'm going to present, first I'm going to present myself, and then I will take a few words of what are my goals and my perspective for this committee. I am head of the delegation of Portugal since 2022, and I'm a member of the ad hoc committee on counter-terrorism here in OSCE. In Portuguese Parliament, I am member from the Portuguese Parliament since 2009, and I'm the chairperson of the Committee on Constitutional Affairs, Rights, Liberties and Guarantees. It is the first committee in Portugal. I'm deputy head of the Social Democratic Parliament Group from 2022 to 2024, and I'm member of the Bureau from 2009 to 2011. But in my professional life, I'm a lawyer and an entrepreneur. I've been town councillor in my own city. Speaking of my professional life, I run a ceramic industry and I employ 360 employees. I have experience in economic matters and innovation from a field point of view. I think a field point of view can be useful for these subjects we discuss in this committee. I think environment, environment who are now a very important item, certainly because the great challenge we have in rebuilding Ukraine, helping Ukraine to rebuild with weapons in Ukraine, and I'm very concerned about the setbacks in the goals of environment because of the wars, and innovation and technology are a very important issue, and the challenge of the artificial intelligence and the potential of this tool needs a careful view from the point of view of this committee, need a very careful monitoring all the tools they are going to run from this artificial intelligence, and we must have the point of view of the legislator, the regulator, and be attentive to these matters. Since I took over as the head of the Portuguese delegation, I have taken part in various activities in the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. In addition of these activities, Portuguese delegation has invested in organizing various events. We recently organized the second edition of the Lisbon conferences, which were attended by more than 70 parliamentarians from our Parliamentary Assembly, and in 2025 we will organize the OSCE annual session in Porto. As we approach the 50th anniversary of the Helsinki Fauna Hut, we should celebrate the OSCE achievements, but at the same time we'll have to reflect on what future the organization should be, particularly in the parliamentary areas. If I am elected rapporteur for the second committee, I will endeavor to do this together with each of you. The OSCE are known for committing to reduce tensions and conflicts occurring within its areas of competence, consolidate democratic institutions in each of its participating states, promote open economies based on sustained economic and social development, and focus on environmental issues. It is crucial that this effective work can be further improved. This is my most sincere wishes as a candidate for this post of rapporteur at the second committee. And if I deserve your trust, I will do my best. I thank you all for the support. I present my compliments to the other candidates as well. And I rely on your support, and I trust with you and we join efforts to pursue the values and objectives of this committee of the OSCE. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Paula Cordoza, for your presentation. Now, dear colleagues, it is the time for the election. I think we have heard both of candidates and listen to their platforms, what they are going to do as a rapporteur if they get elected. So I will ask now our International Secretary, Marco Bonabella, to explain the procedural issue related to the elections. Marco, please, you have the floor.
So good morning to everyone. So we will now vote by secret ballot for the position of the rapporteur. Ballot papers have already been prepared. As you know, we have two candidates. To vote, you will need to place a cross by the name of your preferred candidate. The candidate, of course, with the highest number of votes will be elected. In case of a tie, lots will be drawn. In a moment, please come to the desk on your right side, now waving to you to collect your ballot paper. You must have your voting card with you. You will need to hand over your voting card to receive the ballot paper. Afterwards, you will cast your vote and you will deposit it in this box over here. The process will be overseen by the three tellers as announced by the chair. The committee will be suspended while the votes are counted and will then resume for the results to be announced. By the way, the results of the elections will also be announced in the plenary session. That's it. Thank you very much. Dear members, if anyone has not casted their vote, this is the last call. Please proceed to collect your ballots. Dear members, the time for voting is finished. We will now proceed with the counting. Thank you very much for your patience.
Dear colleagues, are you ready for the result of the vote? So please take your seats. So dear colleagues, this is the result of the election for the position of rapporteur to the General Committee on Economic Affairs, Science, Technology and Environment. 63 members voted. Ms. Paula Cardoza from Portugal received 33 votes. Ms. Federica Onore from Italy received 30 votes. There were 0 spoiled ballot papers. So, according to the result, Ms. Paola Cardoza is elected to the position of rapporteur. So, Madam Cardoza, congratulations. So, dear colleagues, this is a time to conclude our session, annual session in our committee. First of all, I want to thank you from my heart for your great cooperation, for your great contribution that you made for the last 3 or 4 days to the work of our committee. I also want to thank our Romanian host for such excellent organization. I do hope that we will have a chance to meet you in our autumn meeting. Using this opportunity, I want to wish you all the best in your summer break, health, peace, and great days with your family. I want to close our session, and again, thank you very much for your great cooperation and also for your great and trust, confidence that you have placed to our members of the Second Committee Bureau. And also I want to thank our International Secretariat, Marco Bonabella, Daria Boyarskaya, Marita, and the others who really made a great efforts in order to make our committee's activity visible and efficient. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. And last but not least, my thanks goes to our interpreters for their excellent job, for making everything understandable and clear who needed this service. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Thank you.